You can spend time with people and still feel completely drained, not physically but mentally, like something inside you has been used up. And the strange part? Nothing bad actually happened. No conflict, no tension, no obvious reason. From the outside, everything looked completely normal. You talked, you listened, you reacted at the right moments. But the moment it's over, you feel it. That quiet kind of exhaustion you can't really explain. And if someone asked you what happened, you wouldn't have an answer. Because nothing happened. It was just being around people. And somehow, that was enough. And if you've felt this more than once, this isn't random. There's a reason for it, a very specific one. And once you start to see it, you'll recognize it everywhere. Here are 7 signs you're mentally drained, without even realizing it. Sign 1. You feel tired after being around people. Even when it felt easy, not every interaction feels heavy in the moment. Sometimes, it actually feels fine. You talk, you listen, you engage, you're present, you're responding, you're doing everything right. And while you're there, nothing feels wrong, nothing feels off. But afterward, that's when it hits you, that quiet exhaustion. And it doesn't match the situation. Because if something was stressful, it would make sense. But this isn't stress. It's something deeper, something that was happening in the background the entire time, without you even noticing it. Sign 2. Your mind doesn't switch off after conversations. For most people, a conversation ends, and that's it. They move on. But for you, it continues. Long after it's over, you replay what you said. You think about how it sounded. You wonder how the other person interpreted it. You go over small details, a pause, a tone, a reaction that felt slightly different, things most people wouldn't even notice. And even if everything went completely fine, your mind keeps going, not because you want it to, but because it's used to analyzing everything, constantly. And that constant mental activity takes energy, a lot more than you realize. Sign 3. You adjust yourself around others without even noticing it. At some point, you learned how to move through social situations more smoothly. You learned what works, what feels acceptable, what avoids awkwardness, and slowly, you started adapting. You don't act exactly the same way with everyone. You subtly change how you speak, how you react, how much of yourself you show. You filter your thoughts. You choose your words carefully, not because you're trying to be fake, but because you've learned how to fit in. And over time, this becomes automatic, so automatic that you don't even realize you're doing it anymore. And because it happens so consistently, you start to believe that this is just who you are. But if you really look at it, you'll notice something important. This isn't your natural state. It's something you learned, a pattern, built over time, through small adjustments, through subtle corrections, through moments where being fully yourself didn't feel right. So you changed, just a little, and then a little more, until it became normal. But that normal comes with a cost, because every time you adjust yourself, you use energy. Every time you filter your thoughts, you use energy. Every time you hold something back, you use energy. And that energy doesn't disappear, it accumulates. And that's where the exhaustion begins. And the difficult part is, you don't notice it while it's happening, because it feels normal. It feels like you're just being yourself, like you're just having a conversation. But underneath that, your mind is constantly working, constantly checking, constantly adjusting. And because it feels so natural, you never question it. You only feel the result of it. Later, when everything is quiet again, not from people, not from conversations, but from the constant effort of being slightly different than who you naturally are. And once you see that clearly, something starts to make sense. Line 4, you feel drained, but only after everything is over. Not during, not while you're talking, not while everything seems normal, but after. When everything gets quiet again, That's when it hits you. That deep mental exhaustion, even when nothing stressful happened, even when everything felt easy, even when you actually enjoyed parts of it. You still leave feeling drained, not just physically tired, but mentally depleted. And the confusing part is, there's no clear reason for it, because nothing went wrong. There was no conflict, no pressure, no obvious stress, but something inside you was constantly active, thinking, monitoring, adjusting. And that constant internal activity requires energy, more than you realize, which is why you often feel like you need time to recover afterward. Sign 5. You don't feel fully understood, and after a while, you start noticing something deeper. It's not just that you feel drained, it's that something feels incomplete. You can have conversations, you can connect on a surface level, people can like you, respect you, enjoy being around you, and yet, something still feels missing. Like they see a version of you, but not the full picture, not your deeper thoughts, not the things you don't say, not the parts you've learned to keep to yourself. And the more this happens, the more you start holding parts of yourself back. And over time, this becomes your default. You stop saying certain things. You stop expressing certain thoughts, not because you want to hide, but because you expect not to be fully understood anyway. So you simplify yourself, just enough to fit in, but every time you do that, you move a little further away from what actually feels real to you, not consciously, but automatically. Because if something isn't fully seen, you stop showing it, and that creates a quiet kind of distance, not from others, but from being fully yourself around them. Sign 6. You spend a lot of time in your own head. Your mind is always active, always thinking, always analyzing. You notice things others don't. Subtle changes in behavior, small shifts in tone, unspoken tension. And while that awareness can be a strength, it also creates distance. Because instead of being fully present, you're observing, interpreting, processing. And when you're in that state, you're never fully in the moment. You're slightly outside of it, watching instead of experiencing. And that distance makes connection feel weaker, even when everything looks completely normal on the outside. Sign 7. You've started to accept this as just who you are. After experiencing this again and again, it starts to feel normal. You expect social situations to take energy. You expect to feel drained afterward. You expect yourself to need time to recover. And because it happens so consistently, you stop questioning it. You stop asking why. And instead, you start adapting your life around it. You limit interactions. You choose safer environments. You become more selective. And while that helps in the short term, it doesn't change the pattern, because the pattern isn't outside of you. It's happening inside. And this is where everything starts to shift. Because what you're experiencing is not your personality. It's not who you are. It's a pattern, something you learned over time, something that once helped you, but slowly started to take more from you than it gives back. And once you see that, something changes. You stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking something is wrong with you. And instead, you start paying attention. You notice when you adjust, when you filter, when you hold back, not to force change, but simply to become aware. Because awareness is where everything begins to shift. And slowly, things start to feel different. Interactions feel lighter, less forced, less exhausting, more natural, not perfect, but more real. Because you're no longer trying to manage every moment. You're starting to experience it again. And that changes everything. Because the problem was never being around people. It was how much of yourself you were giving away just to be there. And once that changes, connection stops feeling like something that drains you and starts feeling like something that gives something back. And once you see that, you begin to recognize the pattern, not just once, but everywhere. And if you've felt this for a long time, There's something even deeper behind it, something that explains why this pattern started. And once you understand that, everything begins to make sense.